Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Taco Imposters for Monday, June 26th, 2023. My gosh, I can't believe it's almost uh, July already. Now, the thing that happened with my whole young adults were wanted to go to, I don't know if I said it here or on stream, but I wanted to go somewhere for Saint Jean Baptiste or Fight National de Quebec, which I think is a stupid name for it, but okay. It's Saint Jean Baptiste Day. It's not Fight National de Quebec. No, I hate it. It's not Quebec National Day, sorry. Or birthday fight celebration, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I think it's Saint Jean Baptiste, but whatever. What were they gonna say? So yeah. So now I'm like, okay, Canada Day. My friend said no, I'll be free that day. As far as I know, I'll be free that day. So I'm like, good. And now the only options that have ever been taken was me voting because I made a poll on our Discord, on our young adults Discord. That's like, well, we'll go to Ottawa. That's the only vote that I have because that was the whole idea. And then someone said, well, locally was better. And I'm like, well, look, I want to experience Ottawa at least once and see fireworks in Ottawa. I want to see them. I would like to see them. That would be cool. Once. Never to see them again. Also, I had other ideas for inviting other people that are around Ottawa. So I could probably even see my cousins. It'd be great. It'd be great. I have cousins in Ottawa. Or cousin. Probably see one cousin. Probably see my one cousin. Other cousin, I don't know where the hell he's gone. Also, I don't know if I'm actually like, what relationship I have with the other cousin. The other cousin's fine. One cousin's fine with the other one, I don't know. He got married and then, I don't know. Anyway. I was invited to the wedding, so which you would think, but I guess not. I thought I was going to be invited to my friend's wedding, and then it didn't happen. I'm like, what? What? Why? Why? What? I know the sister of that guy. I kind of knew the groom, kind of, not really, kind of, but like my friend was invited to his sister's wedding, and then I was invited to his. I was like, what? I should have said that. When I was talking to him last, I should have said, well, hopefully I'll be invited to your wedding. Because that's what he said. The other friend that I knew said. He was like, maybe. I'm like, better. You better. Anyway, whatever. I don't care. What was I saying? Yeah, so personally, I was just like, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, now how did I get to that point? Weddings. Oh, my cousin's wedding, which I was not invited to. Actually, that's technically not true. I think my parents were invited, but they didn't go. They gave like a check of contribution of money, and then that's it. Anyway, that's not. That's beside the point. I digress. But I digress. I'm talking about what? No, yeah, doing that. So Ottawa, yeah. Cause I just want to experience it once. Cause I asked my mother. I'm like, is it work? Cause she used to work in Ottawa Parliament, and so I was like, okay, is it worth doing? And she's like, look, we went once when we were really young. When you were really young, and I'm like, we did. And you're like, yeah. She's like, yeah, okay, well, interesting, but anyway. And then I was just like, so is it worth doing? She's like, yeah, once. It's one of those things you do once. It's very much like a lot of things, like city light shows or going and experiencing whatever, like once. It's not something you're going to be like, oh my god, I want to go back every year. Oh my gosh, I want to go back every year. But it's not something that you go, that was a waste of my time. No, it's not far. If this was Toronto or New York, and I would have to experience, it's like okay, it's like going to Times Square in New York. I've heard that that's useless. Like it's one thing you go once and you never need to go again because you realize you understand it. Even just going to New York. New York is one of those places where unless you love it, it's very much a place you go once. You experience everything and then you're done. It's not like, Washington if you're talking about like things to do, I love museums. So you go to like Washington and you would be there. You could go multiple times because there's not enough time to go see all of the 19, I think it is, Smithsonian museums. So, but New York, there's only so many, so there's only so much you can do in New York unless you live there or you love New York with a passion. There's no, there's very little to do like multiple times. It's like, okay, you've gone to New York, sure, cool. Unless you love the atmosphere and love being in New York. New York is very much like a Toronto, where it's like, okay, you've done everything in Toronto. Like, come on, you've done it all. Like, what else is there to do? Like, come on, seriously? I'm not saying it's terrible or bad. I'm just saying like, look, you've experienced it. What are you gonna do, right? Anyway, what are you gonna do for the 15 millionth time you've been there, right? At least that's my opinion on the matter. That's my opinion on the matter. I don't know if a lot of people feel the same way, but I'm just saying that's my opinion. Now, is I don't know. There's a lot of places though. Montreal could be the same thing. You go to Montreal and be like, oh well, I've been to Montreal. Cool, great. Never have to go there again. We've done it once or twice or whatever. Although there's a lot to do in Montreal, so you could spend days. But I mean, what you take like what if you can do it in any of these cities, any of these big cities in the world, I say take a month, find out like everything possible, and then just you don't really need to ever come back. In my opinion, like Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, at least in Canada. I've never been to Vancouver, but I've been to Toronto and Montreal, and it's like, well, look, people, um, just do them and be done with it. Do them, take a month, like do everything you can possibly do, and then just leave. Fair enough, right? Like that's my opinion on the matter, but anyway, that's just me and traveling and all that stuff. It's like going to the fair or going to. My friend said that once. He compared something like that to La Ronde and went, "You go to La Ronde like once in your life." I'm like, "What? You wouldn't go back?" And he's like, "No." He went to Super Aqua Club, which is which Super Aqua Club, which is our like water park, one of our water parks. We have a Calypso and a Super Aqua Club, and then there's like water parks in both Granby and Park Safari. Yes, and I mean, he went twice, and the second time he was like, "You're not gonna go on anything," and he's like, "Not really." And then I convinced him to go on way more than he was going to go on, like he was planning on going on, and I'm like, oh my god, whatever. Look, in my opinion, you go to the things, and you go to these. I mean, sure, don't go to La Road if you don't want to, but like, come on. Anyway, but he went. I got him to go. Well, and then the other problem was there was like him, me, and then like three other females. His sister, a friend, and then another person. Like my friend and another person. I didn't know that person, the third person, very well. But this was my best friend's friend. So and then they were like, well, we because most of the rides, especially the big ones, were either two or four people, and there was three of them. So they're like, well, they would make me. They would drag me along to be like, oh my god, because he was just not. He was like just not having it. He was like, no, and I'm like, why can't he go? He don't want to go. You think I want to go with you? Why is he? I don't get it because we went twice. I went twice with him with our day camp, like our summer day camp, and I was just like, ugh. In the sense that like, the second time, I'm like, why did you come? Fun, the slower rides, the lazy rivers, the wave pools, the smaller rides. I'm like, oh my god, really? What was the point? Because there's a tornado, which is like a toilet. Then there's one that's like a. Sorry, no, the tornado's not a toilet. The tornado's the one that goes like up and then back and forth. Kind of looks like a tornado, I guess. And then or spinning top maybe. And then there's like one that looks like a toilet. And then there's three big rides, huge rides, massive rides. And then there's a lot of little rides there. Anyway, I don't know why we're talking about this. It has nothing to do. Well, it's a comparison of like Ottawa to to like the water parks slash theme parks. Got it right. Anyway, in my opinion, I would want to go once to Ottawa just to like experience it and then be like, okay, I'm done. Although I'm sure you're going to get a lot of people. I'm going to get a lot of people. You're going to get a lot. I'm going to get a lot of people this Wednesday going, I don't want to go to Ottawa. I'm like, it's like what, an hour, two at worst. Come on, people. It's no farther than going to camp. Yeah, but camp's fun and camp's this. Oh, fine. Look, I don't really. I think I said two. I said I don't really care. I just want to experience things with people. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever. And apparently, it's not supposed to be like last Saturday, which was actually disgusting. It kind of it was weird because it was really hot, humid, and it rained very briefly, and then just was like wet. And then fireworks apparently happened, so I missed them. But anyway, apparently happened on Friday night too. But anyway, and then Sunday was awful because like all the smoke in this province is crazy. Because I was like, oh, I know that Alberta's on no sorry, British Columbia's on fire, and then Alberta's underwater, and it's like, oh okay, or vice versa. Anyway, and then then Nova Scotia was on fire, and then or New Brunswick. One of those ones were on fire, and then Quebec was on fire. I'm like, Quebec? Somebody said that. And I'm like, what? Oh yeah, okay. And then there are 160, there were like 170 fires that were out of control or something ridiculous like that, or 170 fires, and then like 130 of them were out of control or something. It was absolutely insane, and it's still bad. Like today, you'll still walk outside and you smell it. It's burning. There's a clip of, I can't show it here obviously because it's not a video, but there's a clip of like a helicopter flying over Montreal, and it's literally you cannot see a damn thing on the ground. Nothing. The ground is gone. Like it's just gone. It's like soot, ash. It's so wow. Anyway, so yeah, and so that's why I said there's no fireworks. I said in the polls that I made for the candidate and but I'm like, there's no fireworks, and the candidate said there's still no fireworks. I'm like, no, apparently there are fireworks. From what I've seen, there are fireworks, and what I've heard, my cousin in Ottawa said, no, 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 we've been told that there will be fireworks on Canada Day. I'm like, what? Okay, look, I don't care. Look, I want to see fireworks. I don't care where I see fireworks. I want to see it with people I like. I just want to see fireworks with people I like, and that's why I said I would want to like hang out all day. Just hang out and have some fun and do stuff together. In my opinion, fireworks. Well, in my opinion, fireworks become overrated. They become really overrated after you've seen them like. As a kid, you want to see them every year because you're like, oh my god, this is amazing, and twice a year, or 3 times a year, whatever. You're like, oh, I love this, for St. Jean Baptiste, Canada Day, and then like New Year's maybe, and then like it's amazing, it's great, I want to see it again. And then you grow up and you get older, and you're like, okay, I'll see them every so often, every few years, or I'll whatever. But then like you get to be an adult, like by the time I turned like 18, I was like, okay, I'm done with fireworks in the sense that I don't need to see them every year. I hadn't seen them for like 5 years. I'm not even joking. I hadn't seen them for like 5 years. And so I was just like, whatever. Look, I don't care. I don't want them. I don't like them. I don't think they're the greatest. I don't think anything of them. They're just kind of okay. And I was just like, look, fireworks are fireworks. You've seen one set of fireworks. You've kind of seen them all. Also, La Ronde does like which is our Six Flags amusement park here, kind of does like its own like firework competition. So it's an international firework competition for like different countries. Oh, okay. And so different countries come and like compete to shoot off fireworks to see who does the best pyrotechnic. And I'm like, okay, great, cool. You can see them from the bridge. You don't need to actually be in La Ronde from a bridge that's far away or like off. Yeah. Anyway, it's on an island. It's on Saint. I was gonna say Hermanagil. Nope, that's another different place in the world. Saint Helens Island, Mont Saint Helen. It's not Ile Saint Helen, which is weird. Isn't Mont Saint Helen Mount Saint Helen? So wouldn't it be Ile Saint Helen? Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, I might be wrong. Anyway, yeah. So at least in my opinion, I feel like fireworks are fireworks, and you've seen them once, you've seen them 1,000 times. In my opinion, you don't need to see fireworks a million times. You've seen them once, you've seen them all. Then you get to that age point where you're like, I want to shoot off fireworks. I didn't personally shoot off fireworks, but I was like a couple of feet away from fireworks when they've been shut off, so it's like not that. It's not that exciting either. You like shoot them off and it's like, no, you know, like, oh, cool, so cool. My friend made the point of like, what? No fire? Because I said that last week. No fireworks, but they're like 90% of them are shot off on lakes, over lakes. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, but I still no fireworks. They're banned in Canada. I'm like, whoa. He like has this mind blow like, but now apparently there are fireworks. So look, I don't understand fireworks. When you actually think about it, why fireworks? It's also one of those useless things that like have no purpose. They serve no function. I mean, apparently it was the Chinese who created gunpowder to make fireworks. So it was like gunpowder got to the gun, got to better warfare. But like, there's also that whole thing of like, what's the point? Like, fireworks serve no function. And I'm not trying to be like, sorry. And I'm not trying to be use hyperbole here. Like, they literally serve zero function. There's no point to them. Maybe there's people who love fireworks. Maybe there's people who, but like, there's no point to fireworks. I don't think there's a point to fireworks. Not that shouldn't do anything with fireworks, but I'm just saying like. So, I don't know. I'm just saying like. So I'm just saying like, wow, okay. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying like, it's useless. Like, I'm telling you right now that like fireworks are the kind of thing where you're like, I've seen them once, I've seen them a million times. You do not need. God dang it! I'm trying to write something down and it's just ridiculous here. What? I hate people who write like this. Oh, where's copy? I don't know how much. Ooh, shoosh. So yeah. Anyway, what was I gonna say? So yeah. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like in that like, look, you've seen fireworks once, you've seen fireworks a million times. There's nothing crazy about them. It's like going on a roller coaster and going on the same roller coaster again and being like, well, I've been on the same roller coaster twice. It was not different than the first time. And you might enjoy roller coasters. Like I think it was Tom Scott who made a video. He was like conquering his fear of roller coasters, and he was just kind of like, he was just like, oh yeah, conquering his fear of roller coasters, being like, oh, roller coasters are great. Now he loved them. It's that your head thing. It's like in your head. It's all in your head. Once you get past that, it's like, oh wow. So yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they're terrible. I'm just saying like you've been experienced one, you've experienced them all. Oh my gosh, like sorry, I'm reading something that's talking about recorders and like so I'm talking about cameras, right? And I asked a bunch of people on a camera or on a videography subreddit who's like, or just a camera subreddit, really, not subreddit, Discord. Gotta get those right, gotta get it right. And so I was like, okay, it's not um I don't know. So and they're talking about all these different cameras, and I just asked my friend, and she's a videographer slash photographer and photographer slash videographer, whatever, same difference. And I was just like, what camera do you use? And she just gives me the model. That's it. She uses a Canon 90D. And I asked, is that a good camera? Because the first question I asked was this morning was because I was watching a not Technology Connections, Ken from what's his what's it called? Go back. What was it called? Crazy Kid Segment Adventures. But what channel is it called? Computer Clan. He was unboxing a Blackmagic Ursa Mini. This is a really old video from 2017, but I was just watching it again, and I was like, and I just asked the question on that Discord. I was like, what's better for cinema cameras? I said, I didn't even say that though. I just said, what's better, Blackmagic or Red? And they went, and everybody had their opinion of, well, this one's terrible and that one's terrible. Don't use this for this. Don't use that for that. That depends on what you're using it for. You want a cinema camera, whatever. And he goes, what's your level at? And I'm like, I know nothing of anything. And they're like, and then somebody chimed up who knew about like my skill level already and was like, well, considering you know nothing of anything yet, please don't even buy $1,000 cinema camera. Buy an interchangeable lens camera first, and then he said, and especially don't buy a $25,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 red camera, please. No, just no. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes real sense. That makes a lot of sense because um otherwise, you'd be spending way too much money and you'd be wasting your money. But now I'm looking at it like audio, and everybody's giving me everything under the sun, and I'm like, oh, so the Canon 90D is not a bad camera. It's just that there are better cameras for the price, and they're like, yes, better in quotes, right? Because I don't know. Because they're like, well, it depends on what you're going to do. And I said, if you're using, and I said, well, I'd rent a camera first. I said before I said anything else, I said I'd rent a camera. And they're like, well, even renting a camera, you'd be wasting your money because you invest a lot of money into renting a camera. As long as, unless, it was kind of like, unless you're never going to buy a camera, you know you're never going to buy a camera, but you want to make videos or movies or documentaries, like you say. Sure, but if you want to, like save money, you don't, like renting is not as good as you think. Like, it's not as good as you think. It's not as cost effective. You'll spend way more money than you would have if you just bought the damn camera, right? It's $1,000. You could spend $500 a day on renting a camera. Like, it's stupid. Now, if you're renting a $50,000 camera, or $500 an hour or something, But if you're yeah, maybe not an hour, but whatever, stupid amounts of money, right? If you're doing it on a 50 to 100 to $200,000, yeah, okay, sure. That's and each lens is like $5,000 or $1,000. Like, yeah, okay, sure. That's a different story. But don't think you're going to be saving money by doing it that way. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just that's what I'm saying. Like with that kind of stuff. And then now sound that I'm recording into a Zoom H1n, and I don't have auto anything on. I have manual all this. Did I just make a mark? What am I doing here? How do I, what the what have I just done? What have I just done? What have I just done? Have I been making marks like tick 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 tick? I hope not. I'll have to listen to it now and see 20-minute mark, 21-minute mark. What that just did? Because what did I just do? I think I might have added a bunch of like clap marks. I don't know what I've done, but maybe I'm very confused. But okay, I will have to check once I'm done. But yeah, 21 minutes, got it. So yeah, so now I'm like, yes, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it now. Like, okay, okay, so I'm just reading it. Sorry, I'm like engulfed in it. Okay, very slow. Okay, so I'm gonna reply and I'm gonna tell him what I already have, which is I have a Rode Video Micro. I have a Rode Video Micro that I use with my Zoom H1n. Cool. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. He's basically saying, like, depends on what you want to do, how you want to do it. Get a recorder and connect it as backup, or have the camera as backup, and then just go somewhere. Do like a with a shotgun mic. Do a wireless one. Mix them together. Add a few things together. Combine a few different solutions. Like, it depends on how you want to do it and what you want to do. So I'm using a Rode Video Micro into a Zoom H1n right now. I have used my Zoom 8. Oh, what was the one? Zoom, like, I don't remember what it's called. I have to look. See what it's called. It's called. I'm so sorry. Something happened there, and the thing just cut out. I don't know what happened there. I think I changed some setting, and it like cut the whole audio out. But I was gonna talk about how Micro Society was watching their video, and they were talking about how um or they reviewed two videos, two or three movies. Spy Kids 3 and Spy Kids 4. They didn't do 1 or 2 because I don't know. I guess they're good movies. And then they also reviewed robots. And okay, look, Spy Kids 1 and 2 is one of those series where it's kind of terrible. Like, you kind of realize you have a nostalgia for it, but it's not good. Like Die Wimpy Kid, you end up with this like you think it's good. Like, the first one is okay. The second one is really good. I was gonna say masterpiece, but I don't know about that now. The third one's like, oh god, this is horrible. And then it's another one of those series where it's like, there's a fourth one. Like that would be good. There's a fourth one, and it's kind of god awful. It's kind of terrible. It's like, what? Why? It's the kind of thing where like 9 years later, 5 years later, 7 years later, whatever. It's like, oh yeah, it's kind of terrible. Or like they come back with it being like, oh yeah, 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 whatever. I don't care. It's whatever. Which is fair. It's kind of whatever. So like, or like somebody's kid or someone's younger brother. Oh, remember this thing? Oh, I found this. Dad, let's make a new. Like, you're a director. Dad, make a new one or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's not good. It's so. I mean, three was the worst of the three, and then it became actually freaking worse. Like the next one was even worse. I don't get it. How like you decide to make a new one, but okay, fair enough, I guess. Look, I don't care. Also, Robots, not a bad movie. Another one of those movies like Cars, where you don't understand their weird universe, where it's like, wait a sec, so how does this work, and why is it like this, and how come you don't do this, and how come this is happening, and you do this, not this, and this, I don't understand it. To me, I don't get it, but, whatever. Anyway, I don't understand it, but okay. In my opinion, it just makes no sense, but whatever. Look, I don't care. I've not bothered trying to figure out any of it. It's just whatever. So I mean, like, I don't care. I'm just saying, like, it's one of those, like, oh, and it only starts like to not make sense once you start breaking it down. When you're watching it, you're just kind of like whatever, and you're just like, oh yeah, and then you just kind of like, oh wait, if someone decides to break it down, they're like, wait a sec, or like analyze it. They're like, wait a sec, why does this suck? And it's like, well, it sucks because. Wait, why is this? Whoa, what? Just stuff that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I mean, they're not bad movies. Spy Kids are not bad movies, and I don't think Robots is a bad movie. I think Robots is a really good movie. I just think that Robots has flaws where it's like Cars, where Cars doesn't make any sense, but it's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to just be confusing enough to be like, wait, what? Just wait, what? Huh? Like Robots. Wait, what? How did that work? And how do you like the movie begins with them making, quote unquote, making a baby, where they like literally put it together. And the first joke that they make in the whole movie is the dad comes home from work and goes, "It's been delivered." Oh man. So it's basically the opposite of how a baby works. So listen. So it's like, I missed it, right? I missed the delivery. He goes, and the mother goes, "Making it's the best part." I'm like, oh my god, really? And then the whole movie is like maybe a couple of sexual innuendos, sexual jokes, a couple of adult jokes, and then just like a decent kids movie, which it is. It's a very decent kids movie. It's a funny kids movie. I think it's like decent. I think it's a passable. It's got Robin Williams in it. It's a good movie. It's a passable movie. It's a movie I saw in theaters at the Dollar Cinema. So I'm like, oh, wow, it's not that bad. Although I do not think it's amazing, but it's a movie I'll watch every so often and be like, Robots. I like Robots. It's like Ice Age. I'm looking at Ice Age right now on my DVD on my shelf, and I think it's Ice Age 1 or Ice Age 2. Ice Age, the Ice Age movies, and I'm kind of just like, they're okay. They're not movies you're gonna come back to and be like, these are masterpieces, and I watch them once a year and it's amazing. No, but also they're not movies that are terrible. Although the new movie or series or whatever is kind of garbage, but whatever. Like in my opinion, that's where the Robots falls under. It falls under that like same weird like animated movie category where it never had a sequel, but it didn't have to have a sequel because there's nothing to make a sequel about. But like Spy Kids or Diamond Gear or any of that stuff, like it's a series that you'll watch, be like it's okay, and then just never think about it ever again. Oh yeah, that movie. I used to watch the first one like every. It was like one of the only movies I ever wanted to watch on a car trip with my portable DVD player. It was like one of the only things. I don't know why. My brother wanted to watch, or Spy Kids 3 for some reason. Because my brother wanted to watch two things. We would rent from the from the movie video store, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the old one, the first one that they had, not the new one. And he would want to watch Star Wars 3 because he was obsessed with Star Wars. Him and his best friend loved Star Wars. He had every Star Wars set ever made almost up after a certain point. Like they both collectively had them, and it's like they watched all the Star Wars movies. They did all Star Wars stuff. They went on to Star Wars stuff. My brother's best friend at the time had the like Darth Vader mask with the like hanging chest thing that made you change your voice. It was actually insanely cool. I want to tell you. I'm going to tell you a story about that mask. Our pool's mascot, our summer pool's mascot was a alligator, and the rival pool was a shark. And so what one of the guys did was the captain or captain is that what you call it? No, the not the captain, the leader, whatever it's called, like the head lifeguard. There's a name for it. Not the captain. The CEO, no. President, maybe? No. Anyway, doesn't matter. Went up on the roof. He borrowed my best borrowed the brother best friend's helmet and went up there and like put a cape on and like I think it had nothing to do with green, but he was just like, "I am Darth Gator." I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so terrible." And then we didn't have a gator mascot, but they had a blow up shark, and I remember us trying to pop that thing. We popped like a fake dolphin, and we're like, "We got him!" And they're like, "No, you didn't. You popped our dolphin." And we tried to like chase these people. I remember that it was such a weird thing. Anyway, so yeah, Star Wars. So yeah, I mean, my pool experience is weird, but okay. Yeah, I mean, look, in my opinion, it was a funny story. That's just a funny one. I got some memories from that pool. Decent memories from that pool. I had some friends at that pool. I didn't love that pool. My mother like kind of threw me in the deep end and was like, "You're gonna learn to swim," and I was like, "Wait, what?" I went to the classes. I got up to right before you take like your lifeguarding training. My brother took the first one, and then didn't take any others. Which is my mother was like, "That's so stupid. You should have gotten one." But I didn't do that. I got right up to it, and then didn't do it. The best I ever did was I learned how to do CPR. No, yes, CPR. I did the Heimlich maneuver and CPR. That's it. Other than that, I like didn't even. Well, I didn't even technically learn CPR in the class. I was just watching the other class. Anyway, you learn to swim. It's whatever. You like get up in levels. I don't know. I never liked doing that. I always liked the like competition. My whole thing was like, let's compete and let's like win. And I was never a like competitive swimmer. And I know people who had to be competitive or who were competitive swimmers, and they had to get up at like 5 in the morning, show up to the class, show up to swimming in like the winter, do the whole thing, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. It was a whole ordeal, right? And I was like, this is ridiculous. And then there were summer swimmers like, um, what's it called? Like there's summer swim meet, which is basically the summer swimmers, the swimmers who had not done any winter swimming, like any other swimming. And I'm like, I didn't know anybody who did that. And then somebody was like, oh, she did it. I'm like, oh, did she now? Because you could tell. You knew who was like amazing at the like nationals, and you knew who was just like, eh. My brother got like somewhere in the top 10 for butterfly in the summer swim meet, and he like his mind was just like, wait, whoa, I did that? Wow, I got that good? Wow, that's kind of incredible. So yeah, I mean, look, in my opinion, I never loved swimming. I always thought I could get better at swimming, and I remember this guy once telling or saying like, "How long have you been swimming for?" And I'm like, I was probably at that point like 8 years, 8 or 9, almost 10 years, almost 10 years, right? God dang it, probably about 10 years. And he goes, "I've been swimming for one summer, and I'm already better than you." It's like, yeah, time doesn't mean anything, right? No, not at all. It doesn't mean you're good. It doesn't mean you invest anything. Like I knew my friend. My friend for like 2 summers in a row tried to become the best swimmer. Tried to get at least some kind of award, whether it was most dedicated, most improved. It didn't matter what it was. He didn't care either. He just wanted an award, and he never got anything. And he just watching people walk up and get awards, and it was like the biggest thing. He was like so mad. We had like because this is at the award ceremony. We have an award ceremony every year, and so he like was like peeved off. And we had like a break at one point, and he was like, "This is stupid. I'm so freaking." He didn't say that, but he had this attitude like, "I'm fed up. This is stupid. Whatever." Whatever. Then by the end of the summer, they got something to the effect. His family got something to the effect of like most dedicated family or something. And it was this big trophy that other people get on, and you don't get to keep it. You don't get to keep it, but like it's whatever. And so I was just like whatever. And then he pulls it off, like grabs the reward, like with it, like from his family, and just basically has this attitude of like, I won this solely me. It's all because of me. You all are peasants who did nothing. I did it all. Look at me. I'm the best. I'm like, oh my god, calm down, kid. Calm down. The awards mean nothing. You're never, and I repeat, never going to care about that award in the future. A, if you get an actual award, and B, it's never going to matter on anything. You're not going to be able to put on your CV that I did this. You're never going to be able to put on your resume, oh, I won an award when I was 10, 12, whatever. No, you're not. I'm like, we're not, like, no. You're not that good. Now, if you're trying to get on the Olympics, maybe, but they don't care about your random local pool that gave you some random award because like they just did awards for fun, whatever. God, that award, that first pool that I went to, because I went to two pools. The second pool, what I'm talking about now is the second pool, which is in a better neighborhood than the first pool. The first pool was in literally the poorest area of Montreal. I'm pretty sure. It was awful. It was terrible. I didn't know how people lived, and then I'm like, they lived fine, and I'm like, yeah, because my church used to say stuff like, it's the poorest neighborhoods, which is fair. No, it's fair. It is the poorest neighborhood, and there's two different places that do like outreach. One does like for kids, and one does for like after school program, and one does for uh, uh like a soup kitchen slash meal pantry. What's that called? Food drive? No, food. Yeah, food bank. And he talks about like, yo, he needs needs investments, and like people need to keep donating and all that stuff, because like his people are bad. Like they're really down in the dumps. It's the poorest part of the place, if I'm not mistaken. And I've been to people's houses that were there, and I'm like, everybody from like decently middle class house to like very low end house where you're like, how are you living in this? This is like almost unlivable. Anyway, I don't really care. I'm just saying like I didn't think much of it. Anyway, so for me at least, I was like, whatever. Look, in my opinion, I feel like they said it was so much worse than it was. Though my pastor used to say that all the time at my church. Everybody say, "Oh, that's the worst part of the country." Nope, the worst part of the Montreal is so bad. It's this, that, and the other thing. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. But like, I'm like, but it's really not that bad. So yeah, yeah. So anyway, that was anyway. So I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, look, I don't care. I've been in that whole area, and I'm like, nobody. I know people who live there. I still know people to this day who live in that area. I'm like, it's not that bad. Come on, man, it's not that bad. It's probably cheap to live there in comparison to a lot of other places because it's all location, right? Location, location, location. It's the real estate agent goes, yeah. Because I was talking to my mother about how one of the people at my young adults who she lives in like one of those like boarding houses for like students, right? And they don't. You're not allowed to have one. Like not allowed. I'm sorry, not allowed. But they just don't have. They don't run it as a boarding house in the summer. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And she was like, oh, I can find a apartment for 1,100 month. That's 500 if you get a roommate. And one of my friends went, where are you getting that amount from? Where are you getting that price from? No way is it at all. You're never getting something that good. You're getting it for $1,100 a person probably, or you're getting it for like $1,500 a month or $1,700 a month. It's incredible. The market is just broken. It's just broken. Millennials slash Gen Z will not be able to buy a house for a long time in the market that we have now. We're going to have. I'm 90% sure. I'm not a lot of like a lot of people who like look at the market. They're like, we're going to have a recession. Now, is it going to be a depression? No, but it's going to be a recession, and we're going to be friggin' screwed. And it'll be the same kind of market cap thing. Because if you look at what happens was there was a period in time about I don't know a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, where Biden's banks were giving people like government banks were giving people loans. Okay, there are banks that are giving people loans with bad credit, low interest, and high amounts. And it's like, that's what happened, and low mortgages and low this and low that. And it's like, that's what happened in 2008. We're all going to get screwed and we're going to be frigged. And they're like, oh no, it's fine, fine. And nothing really happened from that. But you do that constantly, and holy freaking moly, you're going to have a recession. How many banks have gone under right now? How many banks have gone under and foreclosed and like no, like they don't exist and they don't have enough money to pay people? Like, what, five or something? you know, five or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of scary. That's why people think that, buy some gold and silver because it'll always be worth money and you can always trade gold and silver. So I'm like, why would somebody want gold? But okay, if that's the value. But see, I'm saying if it's not backed down the dollar, If the dollar's not backed on gold and you're buying it with money, why are you buying gold and silver if the I don't know. And then the other thing is buy cryptocurrency, and that I think is dumb because I don't think cryptocurrency is going to like. I would not want to invest in something where one day a sandwich from Subway is $5, the next day it's $500, the next day it's 5 cents. Like, excuse me? No. This fluctuation of prices. Once we get to the point where a dollar's a dollar, a a Bitcoin is $50, and that's it. That's all. Just you can do the math, but that's what it is. It's equivalent to this. That's it. That's all. We don't have to worry about fluctuation. I think it's dumb. I don't think it's nearly as dumb as NFTs. I think those are stupid. I think those are absolutely ridiculous. But oh no. But I thought it was not recording. Sorry. But no. It's dumb, but it's not that bad. You know what I mean? The cryptocurrency. NFTs, forget it. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard because I'm like, well, what's the point of this? It's literally, I've talked about this multiple times, I'm sure. It's literally a digital art that, and not all of them are digital art either. Some are just like keys and some of them are like whatever's. Okay, what proved NFTs are stupid is when Logan Paul tried to make his video game, NFT game, and went nowhere. And then everybody found out stuff like he stole the assets from Adobe Post. Is that what it's called? Adobe, yeah, Post. He stole the assets from there. He didn't pay his people. He hired freaking full on criminals. He hired, you know, he pump and dumps. He ran. He rug pulled. He did all these things. He sold a bunch of or bought a bunch of or sold made a bunch of money off of his stuff by selling. I think his the things never existed. There's all he's like, oh, I'm gonna put again $1 million into this. Yeah, that's great. Like we're gonna pay back $1 million or 10 million something. But he made like way more than that. The if you watch a good thing to watch is watch Joe Rogan's podcast when he has it with Copyzilla because he's explaining why that's terrible and he's explaining why these NFT projects just never like nobody or cryptocurrencies never get caught. How Sam Bankman-Fried just kind of is gonna get away or pretty much got away scot-free because in the sense that like well he was in Bahamas, there's no like regulations in the Bahamas and offshore trading and you can do all the Sam Bankman-Fried though also had Alameda Research, which was basically a like stock. It was basically buying stocks in Japan because the prices were better, or selling stocks in Japan, whatever. Buying stocks or selling stocks, whatever, making more money based off of just the Japanese market. I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, so yeah, like it just explains shows how like they're never gonna get caught for this. Logan Paul is never gonna get caught and say because when you hit them at their wallet, that's where it's bad. Like you hit the little man at his wallet because there's two things that everybody wants. They're in a crisis of health crisis or they're in a financial crisis. I want to be healthier because he said his mother was one of those whacks who would like I have this debilitating some kind of cancer or some kind of like thing in his liver or kidney or something. Anyway, and she was like doing all these stupid things that she was hearing on like whatever. Oh, boil a bunch of garlic and then drink the juice or something, or like spray it on your head, or like rub it all over you, or like stupid things where it's like my mother can get to that point sometimes where she'll do some stupid thing and I'm like I'm not doing this. I'm sorry, I don't care. But yeah, then other times it's like well, other things work. But anyway, there are natural remedies that actually work. If you have a sore throat, there's like manuka honey and stuff like that, like just things that work, that are proven that work. But he's saying like, but they get you with all these like, well, this will cure your. It's always this like, don't do these things, do these things, because the little man has found out how to, do it. It was an episode of Safety Third, the podcast that has like, Neil Red, William Osman, and either Alan Pan or Kevin from Backyard Science. And they were talking about how, like, well, when you say it like the little man or my grandmother figured out or my mother, like, like, oh, but if you say, like, we figured out no, they don't care. No, they don't care. They don't care. But, like, when you do that, it's like, oh, it must be good because, like, the big bad corporation is not going to, they hasn't figured it out. Like, oh, we figured out their cracker code. The whole, like, we figured out how to beat cancer. Like, no. And there are people who have, like, figured out they've beaten cancer without radiation, which is possible. Because I was thinking about this. I said it to my mother. I was like, and she knows a few people heard a few stories where they've like beat cancer by never actually doing chemo, which is like, oh wow, really? Which is fair, but it's possible. The problem thing is there is everybody has cancer inside them. Everybody's cancer cells inside them, and every day your body just decides, okay, well, inside my body, my immune system is killing the cancer cells. It's the same way when you get a sunburn. It's literally your body dying and shedding off the like dead skin to prevent you from getting like skin cancer. And so it's basically your body is your immune system is healthy enough to kill the cancer. And it's like, yeah, that's basically what mom said. Yeah, get good enough that immune system and you're fine. Yeah, fair enough. Well, why did I just do that? Anyway, yeah. So personally, yeah, it's my yeah. Anyway, what was I talking about just now? Oh yeah, the video matter. Like you don't need to do it anyway. Oh yeah, when they're like, so yeah, that's the NFTs. Look, NFTs are stupid. You can at least like you can convince somebody to buy at least some like not Bitcoin necessarily, but some cryptocurrency. Like I own in my pool. I've never actually like in my wallet, but in my pool, or I don't know if it's called a pool. Whatever the thing is that you put your money in before you take it out and make it actual like money before you like convert it into money. You I have a bit of XMP, I think, and something else. And I'm kind of like Marquez Brownlee. I'll have a little bit. I'll keep a little bit. I'll do a little bit of this, but don't care because my problem with with cryptocurrencies, right, is there's an episode of or there's a video by Tested where they're trying to see how many places they buy one Bitcoin, which is like $400 or something at the time, in like 2013 or something, or 11 or 12 or something, 14, and $400. And the two of them split it. There was two of them. It was Will and Norm. They buy one from like an ATM that can sell them. Anyway, and basically what they do, they go around looking and they go for like a significantly long amount of time, a couple of hours before they find like these taco stands that sell tacos that are going to take Bitcoin. They take like a percentage. They take the price of the taco in Bitcoin, so it's a percentage of the Bitcoin. So and and then at the end of the day they sell their Bitcoin, and basically they sell it for less than they bought it for. Anyway, I whatever. Look, in my opinion, it's dumb because there's nowhere that takes Bitcoin or takes cryptocurrency. And even if they did, the fluctuation of the cryptocurrency prices is stupid. I'm not going to say that today a taco is $5 and tomorrow it's $500 and the next day it's 5 cents. Like it's stupid. Anyway, look, I don't think it'll ever catch on anytime soon. You have to convince people to like have a consistent price for something for it and have a use for it. More and more and more and more places are like using Bitcoin. There was a very brief point where Tesla took Bitcoin. Look, I don't care. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for now, guys. So, again, if you want to get in touch with me, there's the disc, there's the email, which is tacoimposters@gmail.com. That's tacoimposters@gmail.com. That's in the description. Everything, all of this in the description. But then there's the two Discords, and then if you want to support me, there's Patreon. Um, yeah, I mean, I stream at least once a week. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. That's it, I guess. I think that's going to be it for now, guys. So, adios, mi amigos.